pursuit was then authorized and officers gave chase. The vehicle entered US 95 and traveled southbound towards Henderson. An officer deployed a tire deflation device on the freeway at 95 and Russell to disable the fleeing vehicle. The tire deflation device our agency uses is designed to safely release the air from the vehicle's tires while the driver maintains full control of the car. The stolen vehicle drove over the deflation device but continued to flee from officers. The vehicle then exited the freeway and drove westbound on Sunset Road. As the stolen vehicle traveled on Sunset, it collided with another vehicle at Stephanie Street. After the collision, Alvarado, who was a passenger in the Mercedes, got out of the car and ran northbound on Stephanie while holding a handgun. Officer Justin Garcia and Officer Jacob Barr chased Alvarado on foot. As Alvarado ran away from officers, she turned and pointed her gun towards Officer Garcia. This prompted Officer Garcia to discharge his duty weapon. Alvarado continued to run while holding her handgun. She then pointed her weapon towards Officer Barr. This action prompted both officers to discharge their duty weapons. Alvarado was struck by gunfire and fell to the ground. Officers were then able to take her into custody and summon medical personnel. Alvarado was transported to Sunrise Hospital where she was booked in absentia, and she is still currently there. I'll now play for you several body-worn camera videos depicting this officer-involved shooting.
Forward. I got two more. Get down.
As you can see here, you'll see the suspect turn and point her firearm at our officers. There's this picture, and then one additional where the handgun is directly pointing towards our brave officer.
Drop the gun! Right, hold.
You can see how she's running with the handgun in her hand while the officer tries to de-escalate by giving her commands to drop it. You can also see over here the handgun is still in her hand as she points it at her officer, and it slowly falls out of her hands after. There's a picture of the handgun that she's running with. Here's the picture of her pointing the handgun at our officer. And there's a picture of it still in her hand from his point of view. And that's the picture of the firearm as it fell to the ground. So actually, do me a favor. Go back to the one more slide. One more. That one right there. I'd like everyone to take notice to that slide for a particular reason. Zoom back out to the normal what it was. That picture, though, should aggravate this community. That picture is a suspect who has no regard for the consequences of her actions. And then in that same still picture, it shows two officers from Las Vegas Metro on the far right and the officer's perspective here. Those officers are displaying the bravery and courage, how they chase down, run towards a person that's pointing a firearm at them to take them into custody. It represents what our officers are up against each and every day, and their willingness to go after these bad people and these suspects that are willing to have no regard for their actions. And the courage that's displayed here is exemplary, and it represents the finest of our officers, and it, again, exemplifies what our officers deal with each and every day. So, with that, I'll take any questions.
How close is she to the officers in this image?
I want to say that was roughly about 20 feet.
Or less.
Or 20 feet or less.
Sir, you said she was a passenger. Who was driving the stolen vehicle?
There was a total of 3 people in the car to include her. The other 2 have been arrested by our robbery detail. The driver was arrested, and we for the appropriate robbery charges and the accident that occurred, as well as the passenger that was still in the car was also charged. We focused this part of the briefing just on the officer-involved shooting part.
Was the second body camera from Officer Barr or Officer Garcia?
The one where she's crouching, it's going to be from Officer Barr.
Thank you. And was it an attempted robbery or a successful robbery?
It was a successful robbery.
Do you have an update on the suspect's status in the hospital?
Still in critical condition in the hospital. Okay, thank you very much.